Hi, my name is Jacob, and this is my story. When I was 8 years old, I started seeing a ghost. It began on a Tuesday night. I remember because I had just finished my spelling homework, and Mom was downstairs humming while she folded laundry. The air outside was heavy, like it always was in Maple Hollow, that tiny town where even the moon looked tired. I was half asleep when I heard it. Tap, tap, tap. At first, I thought it was the branches outside brushing the window, but the sound was too deliberate. 3 distinct knocks. I pulled the blanket up to my chin, staring at the window across my room. The glass was black, reflecting only the pale outline of my face. And then, something moved. A face pressed against the glass, white, stretched thin, with empty holes where eyes should have been. Its mouth hung open, trembling, but no sound came out. Just the faint sound of breath fogging the window. I couldn't scream. I couldn't move. I remember the smell, like wet earth and rot. Then Mom burst into my room. The face vanished. The window was empty. She said it was a dream. Dad said I'd been reading too many ghost stories. But it came back every night. Sometimes it was at the window. Sometimes I'd wake up and see it standing in the corner, its head tilted, its fingers twitching as if it wanted to speak but didn't know how. Sometimes it would whisper my name, Jacob. The voice wasn't quite human, too cold, too thin, like the sound of wind moving through old pipes. I told my parents. They took me to a doctor. The doctor gave me pills, but no one believed me. Every night for a whole year, the ghost came. And then one night, exactly 1 year after the first time I saw it, it stopped. No tapping, no whispering, nothing. I should have felt relieved, but I didn't. It felt like it was waiting for something. Years passed. I moved away from Maple Hollow, went to college, got a job, a girlfriend, the kind of normal life I used to think I'd never have. And honestly, I forgot about the ghost. I convinced myself it was just my imagination until last winter. My girlfriend Claire and I had just moved into our first house. It was old, the kind of place with uneven floors and doors that creaked no matter how softly you closed them. She loved it, said it had character. But the first night we moved in, I woke up to that sound. Tap, tap, tap at the bedroom window. I froze. My heart felt like it stopped. I told myself it was a tree branch or maybe rain, anything but what I knew it was. I forced myself to look, and there it was. The same pale face, the same hollow eyes, the same open mouth, except this time, it was inside the room, standing beside the bed. I grabbed Claire, shaking her awake, but when she sat up, it was gone, like it had never been there. For the next few weeks, things got worse. I'd hear whispering behind the walls, my name scratched into the condensation on the mirror after showers. Some nights, the smell of dirt and decay filled the room, and I'd wake up to find muddy footprints leading from the window to my side of the bed. Claire started to notice. She said I was talking in my sleep, whispering things like, I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry, but I didn't remember saying them. One night, I decided I had to end it. I stayed up, waiting, watching the window. At exactly 3:07 a.m., the tapping started again. And this time, instead of hiding, I whispered, "What do you want?" The room went cold. My breath came out white in the air. Then from the dark corner of the room came a voice, faint, cracking like dried leaves. You know. The window fogged, and letters started to form on the glass one by one. You left me. My chest felt like it was caving in. My hands were shaking, but I managed to whisper, "Who are you?" And the face appeared again, closer now, clearer. And I finally saw it. the dirt on its skin, the leaves tangled in its hair, the torn shirt with the faded cartoon dinosaur. It was a boy about 8 years old, a boy I recognized. Because when I was a kid, there had been another boy in Maple Hollow. His name was Eli. We used to play in the woods behind my house. One afternoon, we built a little fort near the creek, and then it started raining. Hard. I got scared and ran home. Eli didn't follow. They never found him. The creek flooded that night. Everyone thought he'd wandered off. I never told anyone that I was with him. My throat closed up as I looked at the ghost in the window, Eli's hollow eyes staring through me. "You left me." "I didn't mean to," I whispered. The lights flickered, the window cracked. The room filled with that smell again, soil, wet and heavy. And then I saw it, cold, damp fingers wrapping around her wrist. I looked over to Claire, and there was a hand reaching up from the floor, pulling at her. I screamed for Claire, but the room was dark, darker than it should have been. I couldn't see the bed. I couldn't see her. Just the window glowing faintly with fog. And through it, Eli's face pressed close, his mouth open, whispering words I could barely hear. "Now you'll stay with me." The hand pulled harder, into the floor, into the dark. And then I woke up. It was morning. Sunlight poured through the blinds. My wrist was bruised, mud under my fingernails. Claire was gone. Her phone, her clothes, everything she owned, still there, but no sign of her. The police said she must have left during the night, but when I looked at the window, there were 3 muddy fingerprints on the glass, small ones like a child's. It's been 6 months now. I hear the tapping again some nights. I don't look anymore. I know what it wants. It's waiting for me to come back to the creek, to finish what I left undone. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I can still hear his voice whispering my name. And when I open them, I can see his reflection in the window, smiling now, waiting, tap, tap, tap.